Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer pop-up chat. It really feels like summer here in the UK. I'm going to take my glasses off. It really does feel like summer here in the UK. I've been outside in the garden enjoying the sun. The royals have been outside in Buckingham Palace Garden. The Buckingham Palace Garden has seen plenty of action this week. It feels like summer is in full force, even though, is it technically still spring? I don't know, but anyway, it feels like summer. And of course, I always class it as the royal summer, the beginning of royal summer, when the Buckingham Palace garden party starts. So we have seen a few garden parties this week. The palace, as I say, the palace backyard has been used a lot recently. So we had the first official Buckingham Palace garden party, which the Queen did not attend. Then we had the second one, which the Queen did attend. We've had today the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Awards. Kind of like a garden party with Princess Eugenie and the Earl and Countess of Wessex. That was today. And there is one more official Buckingham Palace garden party going to take place this summer. And then we get another garden party in Scotland during Holyrood Week. So when the Queen goes to Scotland for Holyrood Week, where she stays at the Palace of Holyrood House, the official Scottish royal residence, then we will see another garden party there. But it's really nice to see the palace garden being used for for entertaining and making people feel good about themselves and enjoying this whole summer. And I thought I'd just pop in to kind of do a bit of a recap, because I haven't really done a live chat since, when was my last live chat was about the wedding, about Lady Gabriella's wedding. So we have a few things to catch up on, I think. Now, first of all, I'm going to go head on over and find the chat room. Oh, I'm slipping off. See, I've been in the sun, look. I've been in the sun today a little bit. I've been making videos. I've been seeing my nan. We've done loads and loads of things today. It's been one of those busy days. So hello and welcome to this video. It's going to be a little bit all over the place with this video. And all of this, of course, as Harry and Meghan are taking some downtime. They're having a rest, which I think is well deserved. Yes, hello to Rhonda and Shan and to everybody who has just joined. Yes, hello to everybody. Kira says, I see you're at 81,000 subs. I know, my goodness, can you believe it? I can't believe it. I remember when I had like 50. I didn't ever think it would ever get to this level. So thank you so you get a fan flap. If you are subscribed, you get a fan flap from me. So thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Now, I'm expecting notifications to not be very good yet, because I think YouTube only sends out notifications for the first 3 videos in a 24-hour period. So I've posted 2 already today, and I think I posted one under 24 hours last night. So I'm not expecting notifications to go out, but anyway, here I am. So I imagine most people will be watching this on catch-up. PJR says you need a barrette for your chest hair. Really? It is a little bit hairy, isn't it? Let's cover it up. No, it's been nice weather. It's been the summer. It feels like summer. It's probably technically still spring, but it feels like summer. Right, now what I was going to do was going to go through some of the videos which I've made. Now, one of the things which has been terribly exciting this week, we all knew that Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, was creating a back to nature garden for the Chelsea Flower Show. It is Chelsea Flower Show week. I love Chelsea. I love anything floral. If you watch my weekly vlogs, you will know that I adore flowers. I adore landscape. It really is my thing, and I would love one year to go to Chelsea. I know I spoke about it earlier in the year, but I've just never ever got round to going, and it is something that I really should do, because I know I would thoroughly enjoy it. And of course, lots of royals enjoy Chelsea too, and they always go on the preview day. So we've already seen the Queen, who was shown around Duchess Catherine's back to nature garden, which I have to say looks incredible. Oh, by the way, I have my cup of tea, so I'm going to keep taking sips. It's important to remember to drink your fluids in this sort of weather. So, yes, that's better. Now, back to the garden. So we knew that she was creating this fabulous back to nature garden, and I have to say it's turned out way better than what I even thought from the plans. The plans look good, but the actual garden looked so interactive and amazing. And of course, George and Charlotte and Louis were taken along to go and see it. So we actually got to see Louis walking, toddling, walking, whatever you want to call it. He was up on his 2 feet. So that was really, really nice to see. And Louis is looking a lot like George, I think, now at that kind of similar age. George, obviously, talking fully, of course, was, talking to Prince William. We got to see a little bit of interaction. Charlotte looking adorable. There was a big tree house. The tree house looked absolutely spectacular. The water running through, what kind of represented a little stream, looked fabulous. There was the swing. It looked a really interactive garden, and I think the Queen enjoyed it too, because it was kind of based on some of her own gardens which she has at Sandringham, so it would have looked fairly familiar, I think, to the Queen. Let's go to comments. Tell me what you thought about Catherine's Back to Nature garden. Hello to everyone who's just joined. I'm sorry if you're not getting notifications. Blame YouTube. PP says the garden looks incredible. The Duke of Cambridge looked great with the kids. He did. He looked really fabulous. And Louis is so cute. He is. He's adorable. Stephanie says the Duchess's post on Instagram, post on benefits of outdoor play, yes, for the kiddos was so inspiring. And of course, that was one of the purposes of the Back to Nature garden, was to make it relatable to children and to get kids off computers. Says me here sat on YouTube talking to you. But never mind the hypocrisy. Children, get out from your screens and go back to nature. Go and play in the garden. Obviously, if it's safe to do so in your area. But, it's good to get back to nature, feel one with nature. And so I do applaud the idea as I'm sat here on YouTube. Don't tell Catherine. Optimum says Charlotte is growing up so fast. She is indeed. And Gree5 says it made me smile seeing Charlotte jumping onto the swing. She is so sweet. And B says the Queen looked very proud of Catherine's work. Yes, I mean the Queen loves. She's always. I think there's only been a few occasions when she hasn't attended Chelsea Flower Show. Catherine has gone, I think, almost every year, possibly every year since she's been married to William. So it is a very royal event, and I would love to go to that preview day where all the royals and celebrities turn up. Can you imagine? That would be amazing. Marianne says you do play in the garden though. I do play in the garden. I'm not just stuck on the computer all day. I spend a lot of time in the garden in the mornings, having drinks of tea and cups of coffee and all the rest of it. And in fact, I've just finished doing a marathon watering session in the garden. It takes so long to water my garden because it's big. PJR says, I think Catherine was a bit nervous having the Queen view her handiwork. She did a smashing job. Louis looks like his maternal grandmother. And for those people who were saying, she hasn't really had a hand in this garden, she has. She had a huge input in the design and build and construction of this garden, and she will be visiting it again all the way through Chelsea Flower Show week. So she has had a huge input, and in fact the kids, George, Charlotte, and maybe not Louis, he's a little bit too young, but they actually collected certain things to go in the garden. So they have all, as a Cambridge family, had a huge input in the garden, and the kids also looked incredibly proud of their mother as well, and I think the Queen looked proud too. So that was just something really, really nice to see this week. Jeanette says, I love the garden, so beautiful, children absolutely adorable, and it was just so lovely to see all of them out as a family, obviously now that Louis is growing up and can do so. PP says, today came out the news that Doria is already in America. I haven't heard about it yet. Where did you hear it from? And then I will go and check. But I suppose it does sound about right. It does sound that kind of time frame where, you don't want to kind of outstay your welcome slightly. And of course, Harry and Meghan having their own time, I think is a good idea as well. Do I have any fruit trees? Yes, damsons. I have a damson tree. And the next door neighbour has a few apple trees. So we do have some fruit trees in the area. What's the temperature in Shropshire today? Do you know what? I never look. I am terrible absolutely terrible. So I'm going to Google it for you. Um, let's have a look. Okay, I'm just going to put weather in Shropshire and see what comes up. Currently, it is 16 degrees centigrade. But it has been hotter earlier in full sun, I have to say. But it is towards the evening now, so temperatures are going down a little bit. But it has been hotter in the daytime. PP says, Princess Charlotte looks more and more like the Queen. I think so. I think she looks like the Queen. But I can also see some of Diana through William in her, in the shape of the face. So because she's one to watch when she grows up, because I think her looks are going to keep kind of flip-flopping a little bit in between the Queen and Diana. I keep seeing Diana. Initially, I saw Diana. Then I saw the Queen. Then I saw Diana. Then I saw the Queen. And now, you know, to me, the looks keep flip-flopping a little bit. Any news on a nanny for Archie? No, I've heard nothing, I have to say. Marianne Russell says, I love the video of George saying his mum's garden was a 20. Yes. And William said, well, I don't think we can quite give a 20 as part of the judging. But anyway, yes, he was very proud. And all the kids looked like they thoroughly enjoyed the garden. And we saw Catherine climbing up. Sophie Wessex visited and climbed up into the treehouse. The treehouse looked like a nest. That's the only way I can describe it. It was all twiggy and like a big nest you can get in. So a very inviting treehouse. MJ says, so what happens with the garden when the show is over? Well, of course, it's a show garden. And for all of the show gardens at Chelsea, they come for the Chelsea Flower Show week, and then they all have to be dismantled. Now, usually what happens with them is that some of the plants and trees are donated to organisations, charities, whatever. And I imagine that will be happening with the Back to Nature Garden. I don't know which charities or organisations she may have chosen, but I can imagine all of those plants and structures will end up somewhere. So don't worry, they will end up somewhere. Or the entire garden could be replicated in a particular place. It depends what they plan to do with it, but certainly nothing ever gets thrown away, unless of course it's gone over and it is no good, or something dies there. But yeah, certainly things will be donated. PJR says, oh, it's Marie Claire magazine says they saw Doria at LAX. Okay, I will afterwards have to go and check that out and see. Hello to everyone who's just joined. We now have 130 watching. I'm so sorry if you've not had notifications. YouTube only sends them out for the first 3 videos in a 24-hour period, and I think I've maxed that with all the summer activity that's going on with the royals. Okay, so I'm going to move on from the garden. By the way, Sussex Royal Instagram now has 8.3 million followers. It's followers on Instagram, isn't it? And of course, they haven't made any other posts apart from the last one was the wedding anniversary post, which was a lovely video, and of course very touching, and unseen photographs. We got to see some beautiful unseen photographs. Now, one thing, oh, where's my fan? One thing I don't like that's been in the media recently is there's been lots of talk about competing Instagram posts. I mean, okay, what a complete load of nonsense. What a horrible, vile narrative, again, that they're going on with. Before Harry and Meghan had their Instagram account, Kensington Royal posted a lot, daily. You know, whenever there was an engagement, whenever there was an anniversary or whatever, Kensington Royal used to post. Way before Meghan joined the family, it used to post regularly. Now, Harry and Meghan have got Sussex Royal Instagram account. They're posting regularly when there's anniversaries, when they're doing work. It's used for that kind of thing. So, of course, they're going to be posting, you know, daily at the same time, possibly. They are not competing. And I wish people would just put that horrible competing narrative to rest, because it's just, quite frankly, doing my head in. And I'm going to have to mist. I really am. I'm going to have to rose mist, because it's making me angry and I need to cool down. So, yes, there we go. Let's talk about, so I've talked about the Back to Nature Garden. We talked about the Queen visiting the Back to Nature garden. We got some official wedding photographs, didn't we, of Lady Gabriella Windsor's wedding reception, or rather the formal photos at the reception venue, which of course was Frogmore House. Now, not to be confused with Frogmore Cottage. Harry and Meghan live at Frogmore Cottage, not the house. So this is the house where Harry and Meghan had their own wedding reception, and it is used pretty much as a royal family venue. So it's no surprise that Lady Gabriella chose Frogmore House to have her own in. And I loved her dress. I loved the formal photographs. And I did read somewhere that she wanted a coloured dress, an actual, a proper colouring. I don't know what colour she wanted, pink or what, I don't know. Anyway, what she ended up settling with was blush. So if you look at the dress, on first glance, it probably looks white or looks cream, but it is actually a blush, which I take to be kind of like a pale, like a hint of pink in there. So it does have a colouring in the dress, which I thought was very interesting. Some people were saying she didn't go for a full-on colour out of respect for the Queen, but then I'm not quite sure the Queen would technically mind if she went for a full-on colour, because traditionally royal wedding dresses back in Tudor times, for example, were actually red. So such as in India, wedding saris are red. So back in Tudor times, the official wedding dress colour was red. It was only since Queen Victoria, I do believe, who introduced the white wedding dress and made that popular. So I don't really think the Queen would have a problem with a full-on colour dress. But anyway, Lady Gabriella ended up with blush, which I thought really suited her. I liked it, and I thought it was a perfect choice. Now, what else are we? Oh yes, William and Catherine joined Queen Elizabeth and members of the British royal family for the second Buckingham Palace garden party, but it was the first one that the Queen has attended this season. So obviously there's 3 in Buckingham Palace every year and 1 at Holyrood House. I just thought Catherine's outfit, that pink with the hat on the slant, just looked absolutely incredible. I mean, Catherine's fashion of late, I mean, she always looks impeccable, but her fashion in the last week has been, I think, top notch. And the outfit she wore, going back to the Back to Nature garden, those trousers, those sort of flowy trousers, pants as you say, but trousers to us in the UK, they looked amazing. I loved them, I really did. So I'm enjoying the garden parties, I have to say. I'm in full summer mood because of all the garden parties. And today, Queen Elizabeth visited the Sainsbury's original shop. Now, Sainsbury's, if you don't know, is a supermarket here in the UK. I shop there in their modern stores. It is my favourite supermarket, the one that I shop in weekly. But it's their 150th anniversary. So what they have done is they've recreated an old shop, or rather a shop like how it would be. So the Queen visited, and she was met by people in costume. But she was also shown some modern technology, which I thought was very interesting, about what we use now in supermarkets, like self-scan checkouts, all the rest of it. But she was also shown things harking back to the 1950s. For example, a 1953, I do believe it was, typical shopping basket. Now, I'm sure the Queen can probably remember 1953 very well, although of course her 1953 would probably have been a little bit different to the typical British person's. But anyway, she was shown a typical 1953 shopping basket, which she looked like she was fully engrossed and fully interested, so I think she really enjoyed that visit. And I did make a video on that, so do go and check that out. Let's just check what people are saying in the chat room. By the way, 181 are watching now, so people are finally discovering this video. Diane says, hey, miss being on live with you. Well, you've made it. You're fine. Auntie D says, no worries, I was catch up and watching when you saw I was live. Yeah, the notifications aren't going out today for YouTube reasons. Sandy says, which day you'll do a weekly live chat, at Friday or Saturday? Yes, my weekly chat show is back to Saturday. So Saturday at 10 PM GMT. It was only for last week because of Eurovision that I changed it, because I can't miss Eurovision. Yes, it was like a rose colour, wasn't it? A rose blush colour. PP says, and what about those garden parties in Buckingham Palace? I've mentioned them. They were fabulous. I agree. Oh, yes, my rose mist. I love my rose mist. A squirt of rose mist is amazing. Where are we? Maureen says, good evening. I thought Lady Gabriella looked beautiful and they both looked so happy. They did indeed. A very happy couple. Sharon says, is the round building in the background of Lady Gabriella's wedding photos Queen Victoria's mausoleum? Yes, it is, which is currently under renovation, in fact. Yes, Auntie D's, it's a blush colour. It's described as blush. But on first glance, it does look like a cream, but it's blush. People commenting on Doria. Yes, apparently, according to Marie Claire, she's home, but I do need to go and check that out. Grief5 says, I've enjoyed her outfits as well, especially the pants. Oh, it was incredible. I loved it. I know people are going to be saying it's because Meghan has been wearing trousers or pantsuits, or as you might say. But anyway, whatever the reason she's wearing them, she looks good in them. And I have actually seen Catherine in trousers before. I think in Canada, I think she wore them. I'm sure there was some engagement in Canada. Stephanie says, hang on, I've just missed your comment. Going back up. Where's it gone? Stephanie says, Princess Eugenie had another official royal outing today, helping to hand out the Duke of Edinburgh Awards. She did. And, you know, we are seeing a lot more of Beatrice and Eugenie, I think, in particular. So I'm holding out for a proper full-time working royal role for Eugenie. And I think she does it really, really, really well. And she has her own special knack and her own special way of doing things. So I want to see more Eugenie, definitely. Flossing Rug Payne says, stunning week of royal goings on. It's incredible. I've been really enjoying it. Arnold says she had to step up her game. Who? Catherine? Auntie D says, yes, Duchess Catherine looked awesome in the pink. Hello to Unique K from Jamaica. My parents are still in Barbados. Hisham the King says, what's going on with the look? Do you farm on the side? It is a bit farmer boy, isn't it? No, it's because I'm hot here in the UK and I've been in the garden. Flossing Rug Payne says, I like the children enjoying themselves. Yes, in the garden, in the Back to Nature garden. Hello Gemma, you did. You've caught a live. Salma says, when is Meghan starting work? I know you miss her, but I'm happy that she's having some downtime for her and baby and Harry. So I expect her to possibly come back September, October to end her maternity leave. But I can imagine she's not one to rest on her laurels. So I think she'll be working behind the scenes on upcoming projects for the tail end of this year, going into, of course, 2020. So I think she'll be doing a lot of work behind the scenes. PP says it's super to see the Queen at 93 years old still going everywhere, making her job. She's really an admirable woman. She looks incredible. She really does look incredible. 93 schmighty-free. I mean, my goodness, she's got a whole life ahead of her. It's incredible, and just, her skin looks gorgeous. She looks gorgeous. She's nimble. She's sprightly. I mean, yes, Queen Elizabeth is a goddess. Sandy Puddin says, "Oh, hang on, go back up." You say Doria left the UK already, and she's with her dog walking alongside a road. Okay, if there are actual photographs that she's walking her dog alongside a road, then okay, perhaps she has gone. Now Jessica Mulroney and her daughter Ivy is in Frogmore Cottage with Harry and Meghan. Yes, I mean, I did hear that they were on their way to the UK and that they were excited, so it makes sense. One in, one out. Do a little swapsy. PJR says, the last time I was in the UK, a guy was complaining about Sainsbury's tractors. What? He meant the bigger SUVs that housewives use. Oh, yes. I know what you mean. I concur. MH44 says, Selma, yes, missing Meghan. I think a lot of people are missing Meghan. Auntie D says, Eurovision live chat was awesome. Thank you. And it's back up, by the way. So if you've missed it and you want to go and see me completely geeking out over Eurovision and Madonna and possibly insulting about 26 different nations, go ahead. That's on my other channel. I've already had one lady that I upset on there from, I think she must have been Italian. She didn't like my opinion of the song. Oops. Jeff says, I see you have Meghan's hat. Well, it's not Meghan's, it's mine. It's my own hat. My goodness. Arnold says, Doria was pictured walking her dog. Okay, I believe you. I believe you. Doria was pictured walking her dog, so she's not here anymore. HM the King says, I'm very sure that's the Duchess of Kent's mausoleum. Oh, was it? Thinking about it, you may be right, because the Victoria one, I believe, is under renovation. So possibly that would have scaffolding up. It was in the distance, but yes, it could be the Duchess of Kent's. Maria says, just catching up, Omid Scooby confirmed that Doria is back in the States. Okay, there we go. Oh, where have I gone? Hello to Nalida. Diane says, oh, by the way, loving the hat, thank you. Sandy says, Arnold Sanders. Hi, Arnold, you were in the Sussex Squad podcast. I have no idea if you were. Michelle says, I think I am the only one, but Lady Gabriella looked bland and Pippa looked frumpy. Controversial. Glad the wedding went to her plans. The best dress was the Middleton guy's girlfriend. Oh, yes. Sophie Winkleman looked amazing. And I thought James looked good too. But I liked the dress. I liked Gabriella's blush-coloured dress. I thought it was very nice. I liked the lace. It was a good dress. I still have no idea why two people were dressed as Victorians, but never mind. One must wonder. Nelly says, I'm so surprised people talk about the clothes instead of focusing about the charity work. True. I mean, one thing I do try not to do here is talk about prices and costs of outfits, because there are Twitter accounts, there are places where you can go if you want to find out how much something costs, where you can get a replica from. You can go and you can find those things. That's not my forte, and I do think it slightly cheapens the work and the message they're trying to do. So I do try to avoid that. Although if there is an absolutely amazing outfit that I truly find amazing, then I will obviously comment on the designer who designed it, because of course if it is something which is truly spectacular, I do believe that they should get the credit for that. So sometimes I'll talk about designer, but when it comes to how much it costs, I mean, most of us can't afford those outfits anyway, especially if it's thousands of pounds. Let's have a look. Maria said, Omid also confirmed that the Sussexes had no plans to hire a nanny as of yet. He also said she would be on leave through the end of summer. Yes, I did anticipate September, October. In terms of nanny, whilst Meghan is off, there isn't a particular great need, although I would anticipate that they would want to get used to somebody before she goes back. So I would probably say midsummer, we could possibly be looking at them getting a nanny just to get used to everything and how they want everything done, and for them to get used to the nanny and the nanny to get used to them before Meghan actually has to go back to work. So I'm guessing kind of midsummer would be a good guess for a nanny. Or a manny. It could be a manny as well. Let's not forget the mannies out there. Auntie D says she just had a baby. The baby isn't even 1 month yet. Yes, let her rest. Let her have some downtime. Robert says, does anybody remember when William and Catherine visited Slave Lake, Alberta to view the fire-ravaged parts of that town? Well, we have the same thing going on now, threatening another town. Oh no! Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that was going on. PJR says, I would like to be a fly on the wall when Prince Charles hosts Donald Trump over for tea. Yes, I mean, it has been confirmed that obviously Donald is coming up, President Trump is coming over, and Charles and Camilla, of course, are going to host. I mean, Charles obviously readying himself for the time when he is king. So, yes, he will be meeting Donald Trump. Jeff says, oh, hang on, where have you gone, Jeff? You've gone. Oh, no, Jeff says she has the same hat. Well, okay. Or rather, yes, she has the same hat as me, not I have the same hat as her. Or rather, I'd like to think. Sandy says, oh no, you're talking to Arnold, I think. Maria says, Omid also said that the Cambridge kids are due to visit Archie soon and that Meghan would be a troop in the colour. Okay, well, who knows? I mean, We'll probably wait and see how things go, but it is one of those royal set piece events, and I suppose it would be a nice time to kind of reintroduce yourself, and a nice time to kind of have got over the birth, I think. So yeah, I can see that happening. H.M. the King says Victoria's mausoleum isn't as round shaped on the top, and he says they dressed as Victorians because it was part of their wedding theme, hence the arriving of old buses. Oh, I just thought it was strange just to see two Victorians walking down. I was like, what on earth is that all about? But anyway, it could be a theme entirely. How are Rory and Molly? They are fine, but Brian's been trying to steal the food all week. Danielle says Winkleman isn't James Milton's girlfriend. She was talking about his French girlfriend. Oh, of course. I'm thinking, who have I got confused with? Right, who have I got confused with? Sophie. That's it. She's with Lord Frederick Windsor. I've got confused. Yes, the French. She did look nice. I do apologise. I've got my girls mixed up. But by the way, I did think Sophie Winkleman's outfit was amazing. H.M. the King says, regardless of the theme, they still looked horrible. Perhaps they were pranked. And it did look a little bit weird. Auntie D says, naughty Brian, indeed. PP says, check a document in YouTube called Monarchy. Oh, I've seen Monarchy at Work. It's really good. Mary says, love the gardens. The kids are adorable. The Queen and Prince Philip looked great. They did indeed. Justin Log Payne says, best part of the wedding was Philip. Loved seeing him laughing and enjoying life. He did indeed. And it was nice to see him out and about. Arnold says, people only care about the cost when it comes to Meghan. In the early days, well, even now still, people cared a lot about Catherine's cost of clothes and wardrobe. It was big everywhere. And in fact, wasn't it Catherine's closet or anyway, something like that. There was lots of Twitter accounts set up to track her wardrobe and how much it cost and all the rest of it. I know because I remember. PJR, yes, I had a synapse issue too. When I mixed up Sophie Winkleman and the French lady. My goodness, it happens to us all. Okay, so I'm going to go now. We've had a really good chat and a bit of a catch-up. So, if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media and also hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. And also please do make sure you are subscribed to the channel. So from me in Shropshire to you all,